Lights out, we're underway. Motorsport Republica podcast.
Guys, welcome back. 2025, we're here.
We're back.
2025.
Motorsport Republica podcast. Special guest today, guys. Mark, Bandana Man, and Danby on for a yarn. So looking forward to that.
Boys, thanks for having me back on.
That's all right. Well, thank you for coming. We're going to cover a few things today. We're not a pre-season pod as such. It's more of a
It's a pre-season pod.
pre-season. We've given Daniel the summer off, so he'll be back. He'll be back at some time this year. We'll keep you notified of that.
The heat's got to him. It's bloody hot.
Yeah,
it's getting to all of us.
It is no aircon and benzina, unfortunately. But yeah, it's been good to be back.
Yeah,
Super excited.
How's everyone's summer breaks been?
Yeah, well, mine's been good. I feel like I haven't started mine yet, though.
You know what's been the topic of discussion? Getting ready for Thailand.
Yes.
Round 1 MotoGP because we're
It's all
going.
happening there, Thailand.
Everyone doesn't know.
MotoGP, look out.
Yeah,
So,
Danby's coming with us.
I'll be
Danby's
there.
coming.
Motorsport Republica is going to Buriram.
Yep.
Motor
Motor Heaven's going as well.
Motor Heaven as well.
coming, so that's exciting. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. How was your summer, Jimmy boy?
Yeah, it was good, mate. Went up to Harvey Bay. Saw my old man there. Rode his ex-Diavel. I think it's an ex-Diavel. Played by the Porsche cricket. Watched the Aussies get up against the Indians. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was a good summer for cricket, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. It was just good to chill out. It was good to get away for a bit. What about you?
Yeah, my summer sort of starts in the next couple of weeks. I turn 30 in about 10
3-0.
days, so
Yeah.
looking forward
Look
to
out.
that big
Yeah.
party
Yeah.
happening. So having a week off, and then the 27th of February we're off, boys.
Are you
So-
going to try and live stream it and make money like Vince McMahon did for Triple H and Stephanie McMahon's wedding? He said he wanted to put it on main event and make money on
Yeah,
it.
that's right. I remember hearing about
Put it on
that.
main event.
You're going to
Look at
see
that.
some midlife crisis on that fucking day, that's for sure.
On Tom.
I know.
Really cool. Curtis is
Sorry,
calling
I
it.
just swore there.
Curtis is going to have his first beer. I'll be super excited about that.
Oh, you know what I ordered today? Curtis's birthday present.
Oh, it's coming.
We got you a birthday present and we're going to put it on
Run,
the
mate,
pod.
run
Unveil
while
on
you
the pod.
can. I've heard it. I've got
And
into this.
I'm being dead serious here. I think I could talk for you as well,
Yeah.
Tom. Extremely jealous of
Yeah,
what we're getting
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I don't know if I should be scared.
I've
No.
I've tested it already. So it looks going to look new in the packaging, but it ain't new.
Yeah.
It ain't new.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not happy with all this. Oh, no.
Bandana Man, what about yourself? How was your summer so far?
Oh, look, we're having the best summer ever, aren't we?
Oh,
How
yeah.
good's this weather?
It's been amazing.
No, guys, I've just been out riding bikes and stuff.
Oh, it's so good.
Down to the beach, sun, surf, sand, all the above. It's just, this is the most decent, consistent summer I can remember in a long, long time.
You know what's crazy saying that? I was speaking to a fellow I used to work with, and I said to him a while ago now, I'm like, because the last couple of summers have been non-existent in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I was like to him, when I was a kid, it was hot every day, and it was great. And he's like, yeah, because he grew up in a drought, like between 2002 and 2008 or whatever.
Yeah.
We were in a drought, and then now it's kind of just normal where it rains and it's kind of a bit colder. But
Yeah, I remember like water restrictions.
Yeah,
and stuff
water
like that.
restrictions.
Like that's not a thing
and
now.
power
is it?
restrictions for the air conditioning, all that stuff. Remember
Yeah.
they couldn't have air cons on?
I might be before our time, but
Okay, sorry. It was only a couple of years ago. Yeah.
well, you know what they're trying to do now in Queensland? All the new
Yeah.
aircons they install, they can actually limit the power going to the aircon now from a switch.
surely the Queenslanders won't put up with that, but Victorians would, but not Queenslanders.
That's true.
Surely not.
Now, guys, Motor Heaven, Jimmy boy.
Yeah, Motor Heaven back for 2025. Thank you again for
Yep.
all the guys down there sponsoring us. They're an awesome partner to have. Check out motorheaven.com.au.
Best in the business,
Best
guys.
in the business. Got their amazing parts finder. Their socials are great, and anything you want is basically on there, like all your big brands, and you don't have to pay full price. Everything's discounted, which is really cool. Better than everyone else.
Beautiful, yes. And guys, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, subscribe, like, anything you can to support the channel. We really appreciate it. To our Patreon listeners, we may take Patreon into a new direction, but I want our Patreon listeners to message us on Patreon if you're wanting a free air freshener of your choice. So message us on Patreon if you're a paid member, and we'll send you out a free air freshener of your choice, okay?
Nice.
What about you?
Thank you for the support over the last few months, because we've only had the one video out, and we appreciate the ongoing support. So.
Yep. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I like it.
All right, MotoGP, talk to me, Jimmy. What's going on? This is not a review show. This is not
Bike
a review
launches?
show.
The bike launches, are we talking about that or
Yeah,
not?
bloody oath. Talk about whatever you want. Jorge Martín, number 1.
What do we
That's
think?
the biggest thing that's come out of all this so far.
Well, as he said, he was always going to. He's been fighting all his life to get it.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Surely he was going to wear it. So
You can face and turn me a little bit if you want.
He's talking to me.
I know.
giving you the
Sit
cold
down
shoulder,
there.
Tom.
Sit
Giving
about-
you the cold
sit
shoulder,
about there,
mate.
beautiful.
Giving you the cold
He
shoulder,
still
Tom.
turns.
Giving you the cold shoulder,
Yeah, that's
Tom.
better. Now I
Okay?
feel like I'm talking to you. That's better.
That's better. You look better.
A boss move. Love it. I
Yeah.
think it is great for the sport, and I think it's a big fuck you to Ducati as well. Sorry, Kerry. I was supposed to be
Yeah.
swearing. A big stuff you to do Ducati, and I think he's doing it for himself as well. I mean, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
I love how he kept it under wraps.
Oh, I didn't like that. I want him to run it next day in the test because it always looks good. I remember when Nicky Hayden won 2006, and I remember going online to mcnews.com.au, and you'd see the preseason test photos, like a few days. There was no social media back then.
Yeah.
And then you saw him running the big number 1. I was like, oh, how good's this? And then we all waited just for 2 measly stars, but I'm happy he's running it. And his helmet looks good.
Such a big
sure,
thing in the
helmet.
sport, isn't it? I think F1, the numbers haven't been that important over the years like they have been
Well,
in MotoGP.
they only ran numbers because that's where they finished in the championship for a long
Correct,
time.
yeah. And the
And
constructors...
bikes are the two.
Yeah.
Bikes are the same back then.
Yeah.
But
MotoGP.
F1s were a lot after the bikes, obviously.
Yeah, it was
Changes
like
that.
Schumacher
Yeah.
era and Alonso era, all the way up to Vettel, wasn't it? Vettel?
He never did the number 1. He was always number 5 when he was champion.
Vettel?
I reckon.
Nah, he was number 1.
Okay.
He was 100%
I
number
just got
1.
I just got memories of him always being 5.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
you got that on there? Yep.
Anyway, so it's good to see, and it's a big stuff for you, the Ducati, and it's going to be interesting to see how he rolls on with it.
But don't you think it was cool that we didn't know until he unveiled the bike?
It is cool. That is cool. I do like that.
Like, it's
The
not a given.
suspense.
It's not a
Well,
given.
that was
It's-
the whole tease. I think it added to the build-up, the curiosity.
Yeah.
And
And then-
especially the way they did it too.
And-
He ran over and
I
got
know.
the pit
Yeah.
board with the fluoro numbers and grabbed the 89, then grabbed
Yeah.
the 1. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, the screen in the background was 89, and as he pulled the cloth off of the bike, it changed to 1. Love that. So, it's just adds another dynamic to this season. And we're in for a joyful season for both MotoGP and F1. We're
Cannot
so
wait.
excited.
Now, the forgotten rider out of all that is Marco Bezzecchi. And he's obviously showed off the Aprilia. What do we kind of think? Like Jorge Martin talked about how good the front end was. Loved the front end of the Aprilia. Said it was the best he's ever felt on any bike. I haven't heard much out of Bezzecchi, but how are we thinking he's going to go? Because he has to now... It's 2025. He's on a factory Aprilia. It's one of the best handling bikes on the grid. He seems to have the talent, but who knows what's going to happen? What do you guys think?
Well, it's interesting seeing him walking behind Martin to that season launch. I forgot all about him as well.
Yeah.
It was...
No one talked about him.
No one talked about it. It was interesting seeing him. There was a few questions and goes his way, but I think in his right, he's probably going to be quiet in the media going forward because he had such a shocker last year, and I think that's probably the best thing for him to leave it to, on track, I suppose. How he's going to go, it's a mystery because he was really peaked to go well last year, and he absolutely flopped. So I really couldn't tell you. I do not know.
It's such a mystery.
Such a mystery.
It's a mystery with Aprilia, though, because I've said it so many times, but Aprilia has been the bike where it seems like they have so much promise and the bike's so good, but they've never really had the riders.
Yeah.
KTM's a little bit off that, but they've never had the riders. But Aprilia now has got a world champion, and Marco Bezzecchi is, under the Rossi flag. He's supposed to be the man. Supposed to be the next line coming through with like Marini and the Beast.
But I think we mentioned this last year, and I saw you guys talk about this a bit as well, that like if you look at his career path, he won those, 3 or 4 races in 2023. And then he turned down the Pramac ride.
Which is crazy.
And we were scratching their heads and what's going on. And then last year he just fell away. Digi was getting the better of him. Was that fair to say?
Yeah, easily.
James?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Okay, and now...
And he was injury plagued. Did you?
Yeah. So, and now you look at it, like... I'm calling it now already. He's going to be the first rider to regret moving. Like, if he had stayed, it's him on that factory Ducati, not Digi.
Yeah.
True.
I haven't thought about that.
So this is the thing with this guy. I'm not trying to bag this guy. I'm just calling it how I see it.
I haven't
So
thought
how
of
did
it
he
like that.
stay?
So he's turned down 2 factory Ducati rides.
Yeah, but
now.
hang on. So the whole reason was he turned down the Pramac right? Because he said, no.
He regrets that.
He
He came out
stupid
and said
decision.
that.
Too emotional because he wants to be part of the VR. He wants to win on the 46. He wanted to win with the VR 46. That was the whole thing, right?
It was never going to happen.
Well, guess
Never
what?
happened.
Right? He jumped ship and ended up scoring a factory bike.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder, we are proudly supported by the great team down at Moto Heaven. They are absolutely unbelievable to deal with. And if I were you guys, I'd definitely head over to their website.
Yes, you never pay full recommended retail price at Moto Heaven and free delivery for any order over $100.
100%. And they've got the best, most usable website in the whole motorcycle industry. Dare I say the world. They got parts finders. You can chuck in any bike you want. If it's a gold KX250 or an R1, you can find anything you want. Helmets, they got everything. Head to motoheaven.com.au where you will get everything that you need. That's a guarantee.
Do it.
For this year. So, look, he's not on the level of Martin, nowhere near. So the best thing he could do is just fall in line.
The only difference is he's in a factory backed. He's in a
Get all
factory
of that.
team.
No, I get all of that.
But that doesn't matter these days. My team won an independent.
True. Yeah. Of course.
He needs to just put his head down, okay, and just get some decent results. Now, I can't see anywhere near he's not going to get anywhere near Martin. Nowhere near him.
Early prediction for your preview show. What is he top 6 in the championship? Is he top 10? Is he top 3?
Top 12 for me.
He's got to be top 12, man. What's a pass mark? All right, what's a pass mark for Marco Bezzecchi in 2025? Because I think a pass mark's a top 5.
Well, a pass mark for me is if the bike is any good and Martin's winning on it, why can't Bezzy win on it?
Of course, 100%.
So a pass
I agree.
for me, if Martin's winning, say, 3 or 4 races per se, it means the bike's that good it can win more than once, not just by luck. Well, then this guy needs to win a race too. That's a pass mark.
You got to remember the 6 Ducatis on the grid next year. It's
Yeah, but-
8.
But the quality of riders
Yeah,
have
6,
left.
6.
This has been the big kerfuffle about the Marquez signing because they've lost quality riders to Aprilia and KTM.
Yeah.
Bastianini, quality rider. You know, Bezzecchi, supposedly quality. They've left the Ducati camp. Yes, they've still got the 6 bikes. And, of course, the 24 is a lot closer to the 25 than what the 23 that a 24 was. But, you know, 4 KTMs, 4 Aprilias. So he has to be the second best Aprilia, clearly.
So you say a pass mark would be top 8 then, I would say.
I think
10,
if you're a
12.
factory Aprilia, a pass mark's a top 5, top 6.
And that involves some wins.
100%.
You can't be finishing 5th without a win this year.
This is Aprilia's year because they've built amazingly to this point, and then they've got a world champion with a number 1 on that bike, and they've got 2 quality riders. This is Aprilia's year.
I just don't see it going that well, to be honest.
Their
I'm
next
not seeing it.
their next test, they're bringing like 12 different bikes into that test. 12 different setups or variations, I guess you could say.
The thing about the launch that stumbled, sort of made my eyebrows was like, I counted, and I had to do a double take. I could be wrong, but there was 25 different sponsors on that bike. They have not got a major sponsor.
What is with that?
So that was just weird. You got the Aprilia on the thing. If you look closely, from the bottom of the forks up to the front fender, over the front wheel, down the side, the belly pan, even the pipes at the back, there was a minimum 23. Because some of them repeat after a while, like the same ones there. But what I'm like, well, in all the years I've been watching motorsport, that's just a weird sort of dynamic. How can you have 25 small sponsors? Okay, they're getting the money, but they're the only team that hasn't got a major sponsor. KTM's been backed by Red Bull. Well, Trackhouse are bankrolling. They're their own.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but like, in all seriousness, I think that's a good thing. They're promoting their own brand, aren't they?
Yeah, but
It's Aprilia. It's Aprilia.
I get that, Tom, but
is the
you
big sponsor.
think now with Martin on board, the number 1 plate, someone's going to put their hand up.
I thought
we thought
that
Repsol would go to Aprilia. That's what we had.
Anyone because you got to
Repsol's Spanish owned, guys.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah,
but no
yeah.
Spanish riders there.
Yeah, I know, but you know, there is.
Well, they're
Martin.
Castrol. They're Castrol.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah.
They're
sorry.
Castrol.
You got to remember, Repsol sponsored a Japanese manufacturer for how many years? I mean, I really saw that happening. It would be a partnership made in gold.
They're Castrol though.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sponsored by them. Yeah. I really thought it would have been had a major like Sterile Garda or something.
That's what it is. I think that's there a couple of times on the bikes in 2 different areas.
Italian milk.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I wonder
that's
what
what Max Biaggi. That was one of his main sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Aprilia back. There must be them and Aprilia must have a thing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Curdy, can you open your eyes for a second? And
He's
can you Google
He's dreaming
what
of burgers.
sterile garter is? I'm pretty sure it's Italian milk.
If anyone would know, it would be you.
Yeah. Well, I always used to look it up. Like San Carlo is
The
chips.
Oh, the chips. That's right. Yeah,
Italian
yeah.
chips. Go on.
That one. Stella Garda Alimenti is an Italian dairy produce
Yeah,
company.
well,
there you go.
Hilarious.
Tom's a man.
Hilarious.
Tom's a man.
Thank you.
That's
Tom's
ridiculous.
Move on.
Danby, that was
It's
me. You
not
should be
milk.
thanking me. I was the one
it?
that called that. Yeah.
What, it was milk?
They got a few
Yeah.
products.
I thought you said it was milk.
No, that was me.
You got
Sorry, mate.
You got milk, you got cheese, milk-based desserts, tomato paste, and beverages.
There's a Euro Foods place actually across the road from my work. I might go in there and see if there's like sterile garter cheese or something.
I've seen San Carlo chips before.
Yeah, I've seen them before.
Yeah, definitely. That was famously Simoncelli's sponsor on that Honda.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Danby, what's your favourite sponsor of all time, MotoGP? You have one stands out for
well,
you?
I'll say Marlboro.
Okay.
The Marlboro bikes back then. That's what I grew up with, I suppose. But I don't know, the Repsol was pretty striking, always was all those years.
First
When they
year
win.
without Repsol.
That's going to be a bit strange, but I don't know. Marlboro for me. There's something about that fluoro. Ended up painting my 250 that colour when I first started
true.
riding. So, yeah, Marlboro. That's
Yeah.
it's just always been synonymous with racing,
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
you know.
What about yours?
Probably Repsol. Repsol and Marlboro. I grew up with Marlboro when I was really young. Well, Marlboro was still there up until like 2008
Well, they could run
Yeah.
at Qatar.
at
That used
for
to
like
be-
one
yeah.
rounds. And
Yeah.
the British rounds, they ran pretty late as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then they had the barcode as same
Yeah.
as F1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
same
what it made it
thing.
Look
Yeah.
like.
But
But
yeah.
there's still some sort of sponsorship from Marlboro on that Ferrari.
Is it?
Well, I think
in
that- I mean,
some ways, yeah.
I
Mission
think-
Win Now was the
Yeah.
Marlboro
Mission-
sponsorship.
What was that? Oh, Mission Winnow. Remember that?
Yeah, Mission Win Now
It looked
was.
like Marlboro or something.
Yeah, and you Googled the website, it was just nothing. What's
That website doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I Googled it like 3 days ago.
yeah,
Funny
it's
enough.
crazy. But it's great marketing because it, yes, no one knew what it was, but then when you found out it was cigarettes, then put it in front of your mind, didn't it? So.
How like it just Marlboro and Ferrari, like Marlboro Ducati, it just worked hand in hand.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they? It just looks so good. But then so did Repsol. But you talk about Aprilia, right? They maybe they don't want a major sponsor, which I don't really believe, and they just want to sell their own brands.
Yep.
I bet you it didn't stop Honda's selling when Doohan was racing and Rossi was racing and all
course.
that because they had Repsol.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something from the board. Maybe they just wanted.
I just
to
don't
be
think
the
they
team.
can get the money.
No, that's exactly what it is, James, because
Yeah.
they're the least sponsored team on
Yeah.
the grid of all the manufacturers. Aprilia's budget is nowhere near
Yeah, that's
what
right.
the other three are, or four manufacturers are, just because they can't get a big sponsor. And there's question marks been about this for the last 2 or 3 years,
Talking about sponsors, I want to ask you guys this: if KTM pulls out in 2026, whatever it is, there's
Next year.
there's a big hole with Red Bull sponsorship. Now, if KTM say they're going to pull out and they say, look, we're not going to be back in for 10 years at least, so we're going to sort our own stuff out and we can go from there. Does Red Bull then invest heavily into another manufacturer? Like, because they've done Honda, they've had little bits of on Honda from Marquez's bike, So
What I think would happen in that scenario would be KTM would buy out. Sorry, Red Bull would buy out anything KTM. 2026, they'd still run KTM engines, rebranded as Red Bull engines, and start their own brand like they have with F1.
If I was Red Bull, I'd be looking to Aprilia if Jorge Martin's on that bike, which he is.
Yeah, they want to support Austrian. They won't go to another.
Well, the problem with KTM is they've already declared bankruptcy.
I like what you're saying.
Yeah, I think they'll buy
Red Bull's got the budget for it, surely.
buy their R&D center, buy all the parts, buy everything. Just use KTM engines for 26, rebrand them as all Red Bull.
But does that mean
but
Red
hang
Bull
on,
would
if
have to
K-
develop their own chassis?
Yeah,
That's a big job.
but they would already have they'd already have that in motion.
So
You think?
Pip Byra says that they've got the budget for the next 2 years, and it's 70 million.
But it's 27's the issue because the new regs.
So
how much
so
money
they're
are they going to
saying
spend?
they're
for
saying they've
27?
already got the budget, But then this is where there's a shareholder meeting on the 30th, 29th of this month. about what the decision. And most people in the paddock seem to think, no, they'll be on the grid, okay, at least for this year.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but, do they then turn around and say, well, okay, halve that, there's your budget to run this year, but next year we're out.
But again, it goes down to it's not the race team that's going broke.
No,
it's
that's
the
right.
company.
Yeah.
So the race team can still be.
Yeah, but Tom, the race team is part of the company.
Of course, I know
So,
that, but it's not the race team that's putting
are you trying to say they will sell it to someone? Or the consensus they'll just close it down? Curtis, what do you think? He's all over this.
He is our finance man.
If I was the KTM team, I'd be looking towards CF Moto at that point.
Yeah. Well, there's
be
talk
looking
of
there.
that. That's that China. Is that the China?
Yeah,
you
the
said this
China
once
is-
before. That's why I asked
They're
him. You mentioned
looking.
this.
It's China or it's another company that's an Indian-based one that are looking to buy out KTM.
Oh, okay. Aren't they own 20 KTM own 20% of CF Moto?
It's close.
Yeah.
Okay, the thing we're overlooking here, right? We're trying to. You're coming from the point of view, Tom, that we need these bikes on the grid, right? But if this does happen, if it does fall over, I don't think it will, but if it does fall over, Acosta's out.
Yeah.
There's no way Acosta is staying on, with regards of CFM, whoever buys it and Red Bull.
Yeah.
He's not
It's too
staying.
unstable.
Period.
Yeah.
So this is the bigger picture here, right? We want the bikes on the grid, but we want them healthy, and because it's almost a travesty at the minute. It doesn't look like, but imagine this does happen where that falls over. I'm being a bit dramatic maybe about it, but this kid is about to take all before him. We all agree. He's on the
He's the
cusp.
next-
He's
the next
on the
big
cusp
thing.
of nearly
Yeah.
hitting the peak of that mountain, where he's going to start wiping everybody if he can get a half decent bike, and obviously learn not to fall, but just hone his skills that little bit more. Okay, but if all this doesn't happen, the thing people are missing out here is that you got to remember Ducati wanted to have the 8 bikes. It's not that they said we can't have 8 bikes. They wanted Pramac to still run their bikes. So guess what? They'll fill those spots next year with those 2 more Ducatis, and that's where they'll grab this kid straight away. So he'll be on a 25 Ducati, so to speak. So that's that. I'm just making the point. Don't confuse Ducati only having 6 bikes because they said we have to cut our bikes. Now they said we're cutting our factory bikes. So we went from 4 to 3, but they still would have had 8 bikes on the grid this year if Pramac did not sign that Yamaha deal. Okay, that's things that people miss. So if KTM do fall over next year, Ducati is just going to walk straight back in
100%.
and say, "Here, we've got the 2 bikes. Pedro, over here, mate." And
Yeah.
then then this marriage with Red Bull says, "Well, we're better off just sponsoring that bike."
Yeah.
He's on it. It'll start
I reckon
winning.
they'll put I think they'll be factory backed.
Yeah,
I just don't think. I
they'll
don't
go
see
from 3. You're right. So they'll
go from
3
3 to
this year
4.
back to 4, and he's getting the 4th one.
100% because Dorna won't allow him to not be on a full factory bike. I already know that.
Well, that's not Dorna's decision.
Yeah,
okay?
but they got a hand in it.
Nah. If they had a hand in it, they would have forced their hand for Marquez to go to Pramac. So Martin goes to the factory and all that.
Yeah, but Marquez is a different beast.
Yeah, but
He's
Dorna,
a marketing
Dorna's
machine.
not. Dorna runs the sport. Don't think for a second Dorna has a headwind like Bernie Eccleston used to do back in the day in Formula 1. Like it was Eccleston that brought Villeneuve to Formula 1 personally. He made that deal happen. He helped the Schumacher thing at Ferrari a little bit, but Dorna runs the sport, boys. It doesn't have a finger in the pie about what forcing teams who they've got to choose as riders.
No, I reckon they just nudge people in the right direction.
They got bigger things to worry about, mate, like this Liberty deal going through and stuff. You know?
Just going back to your point with
Sorry.
KTM, think of the young kids coming through the KTM program thinking, we got to find a new seat next year. They'd want to get out of that whole program altogether. So we look at like Ralston coming through on the Moto3, such a big, happy KTM, gas, also Red Bull sponsored athlete, thinking, fuck, if KTM's out, I need to look for a new development path to MotoGP. There's also that's going to go down to the smaller categories. So
David Alonso,
yeah.
he's on a CF Moto, which is KTM.
Yeah. So yes,
So he's their next big star after Acosta, is he? Is that
Yeah.
where that pathway is for him?
that's the pathway.
100%.
That's
So,
well,
what are you saying? Let's just say for the sake of exercise, KTM stays on the grid, starts winning races. Are you saying 2 years from now that Alonso will be in a KTM MotoGP team?
Yeah, if all goes well
Yeah,
for him.
I'm saying this could-
in a perfect world.
In a perfect
he'll be,
world, how's
he'll-
his path looking for him?
He would be a full factory Red Bull rider with it'd be Pedro Acosta and David Alonso on that motorcycle.
Again,
which
look,
is
that's
amazing.
mouth-watering. That's just
So
mouth-watering.
someone has this opportunity, a manufacturer out there has this opportunity to develop this for 2 years, 3
But
years.
this is what KTM's like. They're at the verge right now where
That's what makes
they've grown all this talent. They've honed them all in. They've brought them all the way through the ranks, and then now I've got
Red Bull
two,
Rookies Cup,
Yep.
all that stuff.
two absolute gems.
Yep.
Then they got experience with, at the moment, Binder and Bastianini on that bike. Like, they're right there. And then it just
Gone broke.
it's, gone broke.
Yep.
I really like that idea of Red Bull just taking over, though.
Oh, but it's such a huge
I
company.
don't see it happening.
But I don't see Red Bull leaving the sport. And
I don't see them, no. I
They've
definitely
got too
don't.
much invested now. And I don't see them going to sponsoring a Ducati. I just couldn't imagine that.
If they were going to sponsor any other manufacturer, it's Honda.
Yeah.
And I'll bet
There's
that
also
all day.
big affiliations, Red Bull in Thailand as well. There's also that aspect. Red Bull's actually, I think it's half owned by the Thai family,
51%,
half owned
51%.
Honda is huge
Yeah.
in Thailand as well.
and half owned by the obviously the Austrian family.
I didn't know that.
Red Bull started in Thailand.
Yeah.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
51%. It's still
So-
the Thai family.
So
Really?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I made
it's
sure.
that's a big thing now, and I see how that coming into it as well. I don't know. We'll see. That's why I asked you this. Is there a manufacturer in Thailand that build bikes? You're like, nah.
Yeah.
They're all built in Thailand, but
Yeah.
there's no actual Thai-owned brand. So that's the other thing I was thinking of that angle. But who knows? Time will tell.
It's interesting, though, because you talk about Moto3. So one of my other notes I wrote down is 2027, I think I wrote down.
Yep.
Possibly that there's talks of Moto3 going to one manufacturer. Similar to obviously what Moto2's like.
Perfect. Happy with that. Definitely.
It's a given that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes
So,
sense.
From what concerns me is that these are the feeder categories, and we've got the hard-nosed fans like ourselves that watch those categories religiously. Like a lot of other people, most of the people watch this pod watch those
100%.
categories as well. But
Yeah.
this is, if Liberty's coming in, this is what they've got to focus on. Don't make MotoGP big or make it a big show. Get the ground up for these other two categories to make sure they're stable and they're sustainable.
Well,
they're in a great-
Moto2 is perfect.
Yeah,
Well, that's
they're-
because it's one bike. Is
Yeah.
that right?
They're in a great position.
Well, it's one engine.
One engine, sorry.
It's all
Different
different,
chassis.
chassis, and that's the interesting part of what Moto3 is going
Right.
to be. Is it going to be the one, like, just say Honda engine and different chassis? Because normally in Moto2, it's always dominated by one chassis.
That's right.
Whether it be a Moriarty or a Suter
Kalex
or
or
Kalex
something.
or
Kalex.
now
Or a
Boscoscuro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably what's going to happen with Moto3. Moto3 is a little bit similar though, because at the moment it's dominated by KTMs, and it used to be Honda for a little bit. Like the Leopard Honda famously has always been super strong down the
bullet
straights.
down the straight, yeah.
But at the moment, like everyone's jumping ship to KTM when they can. So,
But I think it's
will
fair.
will it ruin Moto3's racing spectacle even if it was one manufacturer? I still don't think so.
No way.
No
And I
way.
think it's a fair playing field. When these young kids come in, they're all on the same bikes, so you can see where the real talent is.
Yeah.
So I love that, and I think that's how it should be.
So when was it? When did it change? Mine was probably 6 or 7 years ago, maybe more. So when it was 125s,
Yeah.
250s, and now is it the Moto2 is 600s now? Am I right?
Yeah.
765s.
Okay,
Yeah.
and the Moto3s are
254 strokes.
there you go. So see how it's
Yeah.
what was Moto2s now Moto3. This would be the cost thing. Is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
But they say there's a big jump between Moto3 and Moto2, and there's a massive jump to MotoGP.
Well, it
What
should
sense?
Well, as in like from 125s to 250s back in the day, there wasn't as big of a jump. Now there's a big jump, and that's why they struggle so much going to Moto2.
It is a big jump.
But it should be.
Well, yeah, it
It should
separates
be.
the boys from the men.
You've got
that's
to
for
learn
sure.
another level of skill. I remember when Jack Miller did that first test because he went straight from Moto3 to MotoGP, and it was at Valencia, the go-kart track, and his eyes nearly jumped out of his skull when he was going down the straight at how quickly he got to 300,
Yeah.
and then slammed those brakes on. Like he was like, whoa.
How did that even happen for him going straight to MotoGP? Like,
He had a HRC contract,
That's
so
right.
he was contracted to Honda.
Yes.
yeah,
Because he rode for, funny enough, KTM in the lower ranks, but they obviously saw talent in him. And it was Australia Galicia for a year or two, and then jumped ship to...
Cool. That was good.
but he
Yeah.
did well.
Tarmac.
He did well in Moto3. Won a race at Phillip Island, or maybe
He won.
Yeah,
He
no,
almost won the
Well,
title from Alex
him and
Marquez.
It was out of him and Alex Marquez for the
Yeah,
championship
right.
in that last race.
Yep.
And I believe that was 2014.
14 or 15.
Yeah.
14.
Roughly. I think it was 14 because Marquez won the title that year and he won it with his brother. And 15,
That's right.
Marquez,
That's
obviously.
We saw him, and Miller won for LeBron that year,
Yeah.
from memory. Yep.
Yeah.
Because personally, I don't remember him going amazingly well, like once in a generation talent sort of thing, and then going straight to MotoGP. You wouldn't see it happening now.
Oh, like who knows?
But David Alonso, he didn't get that
I
opportunity.
know,
No
I
one's
know.
going to. He won 14 races in a
The
year.
thing, the difference is I think the Aussies and the Americans are always just bigger. They're
Yeah.
always a bigger breed, so they can jump onto a bigger bike a lot easier.
It's a great point.
You know, where the Europeans and like the Japanese,
They're more like jockeys, aren't they?
Yeah.
they're
That's the
tiny,
best
man.
comparison.
Look at
Like
Danny
they're-
Pedrosa.
But all of them generally, you know, Lorenzo, you go from, obviously Italians are different.
Yeah.
You know, Bezzecchi, Simoncelli.
Marini.
Rossi's taller.
Rossi.
Yep.
But it just seems those other Europeans are tiny, you know, and that's
Well-
why the Aussies, like you said, are more
Yeah.
robust, if that's the
Yeah.
word, you know.
Same with the Americans, just a bit more Westerners. But you look at Danny Pedrosa, it worked against him. He was amazing in 125s and
wow.
250s. And they would say it was almost cheating. He was too light.
Yeah.
But then he got to the 4-strokes and then trying to wrestle those bikes around, it almost worked against him.
Well, David Alonso's going to have that same problem. He's tiny.
Yeah, he's
Tiny.
still got room to grow. The kid's only like 16.
Yeah, true. It is a growth spurt.
You know? But you can still be small and be a ball of muscle. Like Marquez ain't huge.
No, he's not at all.
You know?
It's all technique as well, isn't it? Like, it's just amazing how much they move on those bikes.
Yeah, core
Amazing.
strength.
Yeah. It's incredible.
You can see it with Quattararo because he's always posting shirtless pics.
And they're the fastest they've ever been.
Yeah.
And they'll get
That's
even
the other
faster
thing.
this year. And then it looks like in 27 they're going to try to slow them down.
They'll have to. They have to slow them down. Because otherwise we'll lose the fast tracks.
They might go to like groove tyres like they
could
did
you
in
imagine?
F1.
How long did that last? Groove tyres and F1?
That was a 90s to...
No, it was a good 7-8 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was like 96 to 2004
That's
maybe.
my earliest memories of
Yeah.
F1 was...
My only memories from like a
Yeah.
lot of growing up, because I started watching it in 2000 from memory, and then it was always groove tires. You know, you never really saw slicks. You only saw slicks on the old cars like Senni and Mansell used to drive.
Slicks
so
are so much cooler.
way cooler. But you can understand why they did it. They were just getting ridiculous. 2004, those Ferraris,
Crazy.
just they
Speed.
still have some of the lap records around some of the
Yeah,
tracks. I
crazy.
mean, it's unbelievable on groove tires as well. I mean,
look at that crash at the island with Bezzecchi and Vinales. Like
yeah.
at turn one, you don't. It's
been
only
a
when
few
they
big
come
ones.
off, you go, fuck, look how fast they're going.
Yeah.
Like,
It's scary, isn't it?
that's only until those moments happen to you, you go, oh, hang on. These are
Biggest
fucking
crash
fast.
of the year, that one.
That was huge.
It was.
That was
Huge.
massive.
Both to walk away from. I know Bezzecchi was a bit bruised, went to hospital overnight, but
In the
flat stick into turn one at 300 and whatever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was similar to Zarco and Marquez then that
was
race
the
a
other
few
one,
years
yeah,
ago.
Yeah, that was right in front of us.
We saw that happen.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
was incredible. Like you thought he could have. The way he's dead, going through the gravel. You know, it's crazy.
What do you think of Yamaha this year? Do you
Well,
think
it's all about the V4, surely. They're going to turn up to Sepang for the preseason test.
Yeah.
They're bringing it for the talk is. That's the big talk. They're definitely bringing it for they have to. If they're serious, they've got to do this.
I think they are.
You
I
know?
think everything I've seen from Yamaha, I think they're serious. I think that they're doing a lot better than what Honda are, and they seem to be. Honda seems serious but going nowhere. Where Yamaha kind of have like they know what they're doing.
I
know what I mean?
saw an interview with Nagagami.
Yeah.
We call him Crashagami. Sorry, the LCR rider.
Yeah, Taka Nakagami. Yeah,
we're going. Go on.
They asked him, "What's your role next year for this year?" He goes,
For the
"My
Honda."
role is going to be to communicate from Japan what they're saying there to the people in Europe and the factories over in Europe."
That's good.
I
No,
like
it's
that.
not. That's terrible.
Why?
Because they should have been communicating. This is why they're so lost. This is why you're trying to make Honda great again.
Danby, right in
Sorry.
the middle.
This is why you turn my mic over. This is why you're trying to make Honda great again.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, we kind of don't want them to be good because we keep selling hats out of it.
There you go.
We do.
Like an ex-rider is going to be communications manager for the two.
For
Between the
Alicia
two.
Spargo on the factory.
But just and this is why Yamaha are learning from Aprilia. Aprilia just did it in public. Blow every engine. Who cares? This is the steep curve we're climbing to get there as quick as we can to make a fast bike reliable.
Honda have definitely gone the wrong way about it
Still,
for a long
they-
time. They
still
openly
nowhere.
admitted when Marquez got injured that they just stopped developing the bike.
Yeah.
That's just the arrogance. That's T-Shav Saturday Night Phillip Island, 15 beers deep arrogance.
Yeah, he shouldn't have ordered the 3 bottles of wine. That's Dave's fault.
What about old mate? His couple dinners.
Oh yeah, 2 main. You don't order 2 mains. That's just rude.
You would.
Yeah, going back to that Honda.
So the Yamaha. So the V4 is the key.
Yeah,
It is, of course.
This V4, turn up with it in testing.
but how can they quickly develop it that quickly and go well? Like that's going to be a
Well,
hard
no,
slog
it's not.
for the first half
That's
of
the
the
whole
season.
thing, Tom. They have to develop it during the year. But you want to see some scope of improvement, like in these first couple of races, they can see.
Yeah.
Well, from the data, you know what? We just got to get this right. We can see the figures, what they'll produce when we get it right.
Well, they've got Pramac now to help, and I think that's going to be a massive help.
Of
having
course.
that satellite team.
And
Four
then-
bikes.
And like I've still never seen anything like it, but I firmly believe Quartararo last year couldn't get a millisecond quicker out of that Yamaha.
No, of course not.
No, he had a great.
He had that.
It was crazy, some of the
pins.
races he was doing.
Yeah.
He was running 5th and 6th in some of those races behind those Ducatis.
Yeah, nearly
Aprili's
podium.
and
I think
stuff.
in Indonesia, nearly podium. So
And
yeah.
you could see he was wringing the
Yeah.
neck out of that thing. It was amazing. Yeah, he actually deserves more credit than what he's getting at the moment. I
Well, he's
reckon.
getting Motorsport Republica credit. We've got on his back the last couple of pods, so he'll be listening.
Yeah, because this time last year, everyone had written him off. He was a forgotten man.
That's crazy.
You
how
know,
quickly he
we'll
forgot.
never see him at the front again. But then we understand what was really going on there, and we saw how he was carrying that bike, and he's brought it up the field to the top 10 more regularly than not. That's why everyone's getting back on now. Like, you guys are giving the paying dues there to give him the credit. Like, and back to the V4, like, bring it to the test. Who cares if it blows up? But just what we want to hear after these first couple of tests is the riders say, all 4 of them, yeah, wow, this engine's got potential. Like, we can see. That's what you want to hear. Whereas all we're hearing out of the Honda thing is, we still don't know what's going on. And if you remember 2 years ago when Fabio lost the title, we said we need more horsepower. And then they brought the engine the following year and it was the same. But they
Exact
promised him, and that's when he started cracking it.
Yeah.
You know, it was the same.
Yeah, I mean, I think a good thing for them as well as a manufacturer and a brand is they can develop this V4 and then put it in their road bike. So that's going to be
Well,
the
that'd
other.
be something.
That's going to be the other
V4
thing.
R1, what do you think, James?
That'd be cool.
Well, I mean, that's what motor racing was all about back in the day, wasn't
Yeah,
it? It was to develop your brand. So I mean, that's going to be interesting for going into the future for
Well,
them.
Honda don't do that. They run a V4, but
And so with the Yamaha, obviously the other 3 riders, rims, look, a lot of injuries. People say that's why he never got back on form last year. You buying into
We
that,
saw him
James?
at Phillip Island though. He couldn't walk.
he can't walk.
Okay,
He
I'm
can't
right.
walk.
That's why I'm bringing him up.
He's
Yeah.
a Johnny Hopkins spec at the
Yeah,
moment.
okay.
Oh, he's
That's
You know
saying
when there's
something.
always-
that's saying something.
You know
Yeah.
when there's always a rider, probably every 10 years or something, where they're just plagued with injuries, and it just seems like it's going to control the rest of their life. That's
Their
Alex
career.
Rins.
Oh wow, that's
You know, he
sad.
can't do a track walk. That's why you see photos of him cycling everywhere. His legs are cooked.
he's cooked. Yeah.
That's sad to see, man.
Wow. So he's not going to come any good this year.
I
You
think
wouldn't
he's
think.
just.
No.
Look, I would love to see it. I think everyone
Yeah, but you're
would.
talking what you've seen
Yeah,
firsthand.
but
like,
I just like it's
yeah.
rough, man. It was a rough sight to watch. Even through the pits, I actually never really saw him walk at all. Actually,
No, he was riding his bike the whole time.
yeah.
But I remember him crashing and then him walking off, and he couldn't. He looked like he had a broken leg, and the
He's-
commentator was like, "Oh no, he's fine. He's fine. There's how he do. He walk. He's fine. Oh, he's walking away." I'm like, "He's walking away. He's
Yeah.
walking away with
It's-
like
it's-
2 limps."
It's a John Hopkins
John
spec.
he
Hopkins.
said
yeah.
that's quite the reference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bloody hell.
Well, look at Doohan. At the end of Doohan's career, it says he had won 5 world titles before that.
True.
You know, and he almost never won them all when he had to
Yeah,
fuse his
yeah,
legs together.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
famous
the
story.
Dutch wanted to chop it off. They wanted
Yeah.
to chop his leg off.
Yeah, they sewed him together, didn't they? 2 legs.
Yeah,
No, he was in the hospital in Holland, and that the prognosis, they said, no, we have to amputate. And he got on the phone, and then Costa went there. They smuggled him out the hospital,
No way.
right? Because
That's
their
wild,
prognosis
man.
is
I didn't know
mate,
that.
Can't, yes. Their prognosis was, no, mate, sorry, can't help it. We're going to have to chop it. The left, bottom of the left.
Yeah.
It must have been
So he
that
rang
fun.
on the phone. So Dr. Acosta, they went down there at night, basically smuggled him out of the hospital, took him to another country, and that's when they fused the legs together so the blood could feed through.
He get taken back to Spain or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. He said if it wasn't for that, he
Jeez.
goes, they would have chopped my leg off.
And how
He said it- he said
how
it.
different your life would have been.
Well, he
after
was
that.
back on a bike not a ridiculous amount of time
6
later.
weeks or something.
Something
It was
like
pretty
that.
crazy. It was. I remember at the time.
On
Yeah, it was
crutches
pretty-
onto the bike to save the title because he was a good shot to win that year as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he was coming into his own then, even
Yeah.
that year there, you know, with Rainey and Swanson. I remember watching it, and then that crash just, yeah, it was sad because, like, everyone thought, oh, he would have won it, but then obviously then he went on to have a dominant period
Yeah, he
for
won
5 straight
of them.
years. Like,
Yeah.
and that, for me, watching it back then, this is 20 years ago, 95, 94. It was the first time you'd watch motorsport, and this guy was winning. You just knew he was going to win before the race even started.
Yeah,
wasn't
some
it?
of his results.
It was one. He won like 12 one
Yeah.
year. So we take all this for granted
10
now
in
with
a
the
row.
Vettels and the Maxes and the Marquezes and the Rossis, what they've done the last 10 odd years. But way back then, that was just unheard of for one guy.
And as
Just
Aussie
to-
as well. And
Well, that was
we probably don't celebrate him as enough in this country either.
One manufacturer.
Yeah.
It was all Honda though. Like that.
Also-
Those years was just all Honda.
You
Those
always got to be on the right.
500s.
You got to be on the right bike at the right time, right car at the right time. But then you got to still beat your teammate and win.
Yeah.
He did that 5 years in a row, which is incredible. And not to have another major injury. I mean, he had injuries, but not a one that put him out of the season.
Well,
and things.
injuries were
Nah,
just
the
so
one-
common.
then he had the
back
one that
then.
ended his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, after
Like
he's
Perez.
5. After he's 5.
Yeah.
They were so common back then on those 2 strokes. You know, because they would just spit you off.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild bikes. Just wild.
You got some questions for us, Danby? What's going on?
Have you ever ridden a 500 two-stroke?
That's a
No,
good
I've
question.
ridden no, not a 500. Oh, hang on,
Dirt bike?
an RG. I did. It was
Crazy.
an RG 500. Suzuki.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Didn't ride very far, but
Yeah, no,
I think I got in the second gear, and I was only young. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it was just
That'd be a
too
bike to
wild.
have in your
It was just
collection,
too
wouldn't
whip. It was just like
You still see some of those Honda N... What are they? The 500 two-strokes?
What are you talking
Road
about?
bikes. You still see some of them around in collections.
500 2-strokes. Honda road bikes.
No, sorry. I don't know what am I saying. Suzuki... What was the two-stroke you rode?
RGV.
No, it was an RG. RG
RG.
500.
And there's a Yamaha as well, 500 2-stroke.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that's called.
No, I just remember this mate of mine had one. I'm like, because I had the 250 two-stroke.
Mm.
I'm like, well, how much more? It'd be double. It was just something else.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
All right.
I'll throw these at you. So I've already said who I reckon. Who's going to be the first rider to regret moving teams? I've said Bezecchi for the reasons I've just mentioned.
I'm going to say Maverick. I'm sorry,
Okay,
Maverick.
no,
I'm going to
yeah.
say Maverick Vinales just because, and I'll lump Bastianini in this as well. Probably more Bastianini, if anything. Both because they were either could have gone to Aprilia, could have stayed at Aprilia, and then they've gone to KTM, and we don't know what's going on.
You
with
guys were big on this last year a lot, on a lot of your pods, talking about Bastianini jumping ship too soon.
that.
Had he waited, that could have been him on that Aprilia.
Yeah.
Tom?
I'm
That's
about
what you were saying.
Bastianini, 100%.
Yeah. You were saying it
he's
a
a
lot.
better fit than Bezecchi.
Yeah.
Because he had other opportunities, and then he's gone to a manufacturer that's going broke.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't get any worse than that. to be honest.
100%.
Yeah, but just one little thing on KTM. That's why Acosta's manager, he's lost his shit because he's been behind the scenes saying, well, hang on, why have you kept us in the dark about this financial issue? This is not the deal you sold us when we signed this 2-year deal.
Yeah, it's good.
So he's the one, he's stirring the pot in the behind the scenes, wanting to get him out of that contract. Should it get even close to getting out? Are they falling over?
I heard rumours Rossi was talking to him.
Yeah, well, he wants,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, especially after the ranch, apparently
Yeah.
a bit of chat at the ranch for the...
They did.
Which teammate battle will self-destruct first? Well, that has to be Vinales and Bastianini, surely, no?
Nah, I think...
I think it's Bagnaia and Marquez.
Marquez, yeah.
I think that's going to be gone the first 5
I
rounds.
even
Yeah,
think...
but see, I don't... Go on.
I think...
Go on.
I think even a Martin and Bezecchi. I mean, I just don't think...
That's
but
too
either-
much of a family
Yeah, but
atmosphere,
see, to
that
me,
joint.
Bezecchi's got to know his place or he doesn't, right?
But I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
And that's why he won't... You can't be throwing stones from glass houses if you're not getting results. Okay?
Can't be throwing stones at glass houses if you're not getting results. Put that on a T-shirt, Jim.
Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good at making a big noise, but if you're getting your ass handed to you, you look like an idiot. You've got to be beating that
Has
guy.
he got a 2-year deal, Bezecchi?
Yeah.
No idea.
Has to, hasn't he? He
Yeah,
wouldn't go
it's-
for 1 year.
Yeah, it's 2 years.
Now, the reason I don't think the Marquez one, Bezecchi one, Bagnaia one, because they're on the best bike. So they'll win the following week. They know they're on the best bike.
Yeah, but their egos are going to take over.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
the
care
goal
about
the
that.
goal is to win, and they realise that if they let something carry on over to the next race, it's going to affect them having the chance to win in that race.
I know, but like these,
You know the
these
Italians
people,
and Spanish,
yeah,
right?
these
Okay.
people aren't sane. They're a
Alright.
different breed. They just want to win. They don't
Yeah.
care about anything, especially
but-
Marquez.
yeah,
He's
but-
so ruthless.
You're 100% right. I'm not disagreeing with that element, but the reason I'm saying they won't fall out is because they back it as we know what he's beat me today. I can beat him. There's a chance of beating him again the following week because it is the best bike. It's the bike you're winning on.
Yeah.
It's these teammate fallouts. They'll fall out more when one guy's getting the results and one's not.
Yeah, I get that.
That's my point there. Like if Martin's getting all the podiums and Bezecchi's nowhere, well, there's more chance of them two having a falling out.
I can see Marquez just trying to throw it up on the inside of a 90-degree turn, backing it in, just knowing he's running wide and just collecting Bagnaia. I can see it.
Not disputing any of that, but we're expecting that to happen. Is it probably going to happen? It's up to Ducati to manage it. But is that going to affect them falling out when they don't talk to each other? That's what we're talking about here. Teammates falling out.
So we're talking about Rossi, Lorenzo specs.
Yeah, where the wall goes up and all that shit. You know.
I don't know. That's.
I don't see that happening in this day and age at all.
Yeah, I don't see it as being as bad as that.
Because it's not like as ruthless as it used to be.
Agreed.
I don't see. I just think there's going to be some serious tension.
Too many sponsors and
war of words in the media.
Yeah, that's it.
Who will be the top non-Ducati rider in the championship? Martin or Acosta?
Well, who knows what bike the fucking KTM's going to be?
Yeah.
You just don't know what it's.
I'll go Martin.
Okay.
Early prediction. I'll go Martin.
Yeah, early prediction.
Top of the range.
We're not doing our prediction show just yet.
All right, this is a good one. Which rider who finished in the top 10 last year won't finish in the top 10 this year? So I'll throw up names like Bastianini, Vinales.
Jack Miller.
Did he get top 10?
I think
in the championship.
10th.
Did he?
Brad Binder.
Binder?
Yeah, thanks, Katie. Yeah, Binder.
Tom, what did you say? Miller?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember who finished in the top. Like, whoever was... Go on, Curtis. Actually, before you finish that, Danby, just let Curtis name the top 10. 2023. 24...
God, you doomed him from the start.
His head's just exploded into smithereens.
I think it's going to be Binder. I think just of all the disruptions that's already been happening.
So Fabio comes into that top 10 surely because he didn't finish in the top 10 Quartararo.
That's which
so
is
he
wild.
comes in,
yeah.
which is who?
So Jorge Martín first, Bagnaia second, Marquez third, Bastianini fourth, Binder fifth, Acosta 6, Vinales 7, Alex Marquez 8, Morbidelli 9th, Fabio Di Gianantonio is 10th. Miller was behind Quartararo.
Who was?
Jack Miller was behind Quartararo at 14th.
Oh, okay, I was wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll stick with Binder.
Yeah,
Having
yeah.
heard
It's
that,
either
I'll say
Binder-
Morbidelli.
Yeah,
Morbidelli.
it's either Binder or Vinales for me.
Okay, now who's
To KTM.
who'll be the rookie of the year? And I don't mean it's all points to Aldegal clearly because he's got the best bike, but who's going to make the biggest impression?
I'm gonna go Igura. I'm
Igura.
gonna go
Yeah, I think
Igura.
Igura as well.
I'm not sold on Furman Aldegar or whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah, no one is at the minute.
And Chantra's not going to do much.
Chantra is
Yeah.
good for 17th place.
Yeah,
We all know
he's
that.
been sold a dud, that fella.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got. I think. I reckon the Aprilia is going to suit his style. Smooth rider, smooth bike. It's a 2025 spec Aprilia as it is anyway. Aldegar. Look, I think he's still got the talent, but he didn't show us last year. He showed us for like 3 races.
Right.
pressure.
I think he was faster than all the other boys in the
Yeah.
that first preseason test.
It's all about pressure for both categories this year. F1, MotoGP, there's a lot of pressure from KTM, pressure from all the rookies coming in, pressure with Martin and a new team. It's all about pressure. That's the number one word for 2025.
It's not the strongest class coming up though into MotoGP.
Yeah, Moto2.
I think Igura for me is probably the one. Like Aldegar's amazing on his day, but you know he's not be all end all at the moment. He's no Alonso, he's no Acosta, no Marquez coming through.
Yeah,
and then you got Chancho, who's we all know. We don't have to say it, but he's just all there because of the sponsorship.
So including sprints, how many winners will we get this year, do you think? I'll say the 2 Ducatis, Acosta, Martin.
You still think Acosta is going to win a race this year?
Yeah, I
said including sprints.
Yeah, including sprints.
So including sprints, how many race winners do you think we'll get? I reckon about 5 or 6. I think the other 2 will be like maybe a Digi, maybe even Alex.
Yeah,
I'll say a Bezecchi. I'll
Bezecchi?
put a Bez in there. I'll back
On
him.
top of those other 4. So your 4 are Mark, Bagnaia, Acosta, Martin, and Bezzy.
Yeah.
and anyone else.
Did yeah.
That's 6.
Yeah.
That's it. You reckon?
If Yamaha has a V4,
Yeah, I think Fabio.
I'll put
can't rule him
Quartararo.
out. Okay,
I'll put
that's
him
a
in
good
for
shout.
I'll put him
I
in
think
for a
that's a good
sprint
shout.
win.
I reckon too.
Yeah.
Tom, any others?
No, I don't think so.
Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, sure.
On a Yamaha V4, oof, that could be a go actually. James was dead right on that one last year. He was a dud. God, I couldn't believe it. And he had all the tools. He had all the tools.
He was injured.
Yeah,
but-
not that bad though. He wasn't that badly injured. He was injured where the rest of the year before.
You know what's crazy? So we put up Danby our predictions from the start of the
Yeah, I remember.
year
Yeah,
to what the end results,
at Tom's house. Yeah.
and we did the end results, and then Tom was getting so much shit for Oliveira. But the funny thing in all that is I said Oliveira was going to do nothing, and I copped shit at the start, and then at the end you still cop shit. So it's double sword anyway. Either way.
What I say to you on the phone? What's the worst thing being talked about? Not being talked about.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one's pretty obvious. Who
Still
comes
going.
second to Quartararo in the Japan Cup? Has to be.
I like that Japanese Cup.
It has to be Zarco.
Yeah, Zarco. But then you think, I mean, you could say a Jack Miller or a
Well, okay, I'll say Zarco.
or a Oliveira
Rims,
would do.
Rims.
do
Well,
all right.
obviously not Rims, given what you've just told me.
No, I'm going to go Jack Miller. I reckon he'll finish second.
I'm going to go Oliveira.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Turn around?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Write that down, Curtis.
Can you write that down? Because when we do our
That's
prediction on the prediction show, you won't put him in the top 5 or bottom 5.
My dream would be like Jack getting on that KTM first time run, and that first year was him on the KTM was him having fun and like getting top 10s, top 5s. I don't know if that's going to happen. I want that to happen, but honestly, I probably going to go with Danby on that one. Yeah,
I have a
Zarco.
sneaky suspicion that they're going to use Jack as a developmental role.
Well, it has
little-
to be.
like a Zarco, like a Zarco.
But yeah,
That's
but as
why
a
they
team
signed
though,
him.
how can a team go from winning the drivers championship, riders championship, to then being a development team?
Well, it's a bike.
Or it's a bike.
Yeah, I know, but
Completely
far
different
out, it's a
bike.
big change, isn't it, for their
It's all about
for
the
their
money.
whole team?
Money too,
and-
yeah.
It's money, man.
Mm.
That's what it is.
So going back to Pramac, are they paying Yamaha to use their bikes, or is it the other way
No,
around?
that's the other way around.
Yeah.
Yamaha come with a big fat check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fit. Big.
So they would
fat
pay
check.
they would
They
have
gotta-
paid Ducati for their bikes, and they've probably switched that to the other way around going through this year, and that's
I
why
don't
they've done
know,
the deal.
Well, big dog Paolo Campanoni's going to eat.
Yeah.
You gotta eat, yeah.
He's going to eat.
Well, he deserves it. Fuck, he's come in and won a championship. Do what you want, seriously. And they've had some hard years over the years.
And they started on a Honda
Yeah.
NSR 500.
Yeah.
You know?
Good on him. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's an amazing story.
Any
All
other
right.
MotoGP stuff? What have we got tonight? The Ducati launch. Any?
Oh,
They're
we know what
going
that's
to
going to
snow.
be.
Yeah, well, by the time this is out, that's going to be
that'll
out.
be out.
So we
Yeah.
talked about pressure before, boys.
Yep.
Pressure for Formula One this year. We've got 6 rookies coming in, which is,
We'll call it 5.5.
5.5 Lawson.
No, I was going to say because I feel sorry for Jack Doohan. He's not going to last.
Oh, that's
races.
what you're saying. Yeah, sorry. Seven drivers on the grid next year are born after Alonso's debut.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but the guy's 44 now, isn't he?
No, he's not that old.
I think
40.
he is.
No, maybe. I'll hold you to that.
34, 43 or something.
But there's a lot of pressure. Lawson's got a lot of pressure. You've got Antonelli coming into a factory team. Probably not as pressured, but Lawson and Doohan, those two coming in, they got just drivers behind them hunting for those seats. I mean,
Yeah, but
there's so much
Lawson's been
pressure.
given a free rein. Marco has said, mate, we only want you to get within a half a second of Max. They've told him straight up what they don't expect of him.
That's crazy though.
No,
Half
well,
a second.
they've said-
Half a second in
They've
Formula
just
One
said
is
to
an
him,
eternity.
mate, we don't want you like having sleepless nights trying to beat this guy. No one's beaten this guy.
No one will beat him. That's
So
the thing.
we're more than happy if you can get within this margin. They've already laid this out to him. They just want him to bring the car home and try and get in the points if the car's good enough, which comes back to the car. So because they've seen all these other drivers gone through the mill of trying their hardest to beat Max and end up self-destructing, and Gasly, Albon, and the list goes on.
Well, Albon, talk about pressure. Albon, if he doesn't perform against Sainz this year, we know that he's not the real deal because he's had Sargent.
Well,
you know,
the interesting thing there was that
Latifi.
when Colapinto came in and started sticking it to him.
Yeah, it was interesting.
That's why Colapinto was raved about. It wasn't just his own performances. It was beating Albon, who
Well,
everyone
yeah.
thought was pretty good at the time in the Williams.
And you got to beat your teammate. It's the first
Yeah,
thing.
but
That's
that's
what
the
they
thing.
always say.
Yeah.
When you got when you got run of the mill like Sargent and Mazepin. They were making the others look better than what they were.
Yeah.
See, that's what.
Yeah. What is interesting about this year, and this probably goes back to Hamilton, I would say, you haven't had rookies come into top teams before. This is the first time in a long time that we had rookies in the top teams, the top 4
since
teams.
Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton in 2007. Verstappen even came through the Toro Rosso. Obviously, halfway through the season, got promoted and then won the race in Spain. But that's the big thing this year. That's the different thing. When you got 6 rookies coming in and 3 of them are in winnable teams. I mean, that's the big interesting thing for me. And then you got Lawson in a Red Bull. You're going to have Antonelli, which I'm really excited about. A lot of negativity about Antonelli in the media at the moment, saying it's been rushed in. But what else? What other choices do they have? I think it's a great thing. And obviously Danby called by me in that pod we had together.
So look down the barrel, Tom. Tell everybody.
Well, I can't look at you because you're looking over there. For some reason.
I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to look
if
down
we did
the
a
camera.
podcast and I'm like, yeah, Danby, have a look at it. Like how ridiculous that would be. There we go.
I've been watching his mic just slowly turn
That's
like
why,
6,
yeah.
7 times.
I'm dictated by this mic.
There you go, Tom. You look down the barrel, mate.
See, look at that. See, watch this. You watching?
Yeah. Well, it's for some reason that hasn't been installed properly, but that's all right.
Just for
There you go.
clarification,
Yes.
Alonso is 43 years old.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Turns 44 this year.
Yeah, true. Go on.
Have we had a pod since the news has come out with Yuki Tsunoda, not obviously, and Lawson?
No.
No, nothing.
How'd you feel being Yuki in that situation?
Well, what did he do?
Did he deserve it, Danby?
I thought he did.
No, not at all.
You're anti-Yuki, I get it, but the guy is fast.
The guy's had so much opportunity though. He's never done it.
How many years in F1?
4 years he's had in Formula One in that team.
You reckon that's enough time to prove
It's
yourself?
enough time. He hasn't even had has he had one 4th place? I mean, come on. He's raced 80.
What do you think, Danby? Seriously?
He's had 80 Grand Prix and 10 sprint races, and he's had 1 4th place. I mean, come on, seriously.
He saw
Hulkenberg in that Haas has had 15 4th places in that same amount of time. Go on.
He saw off the freeze.
Go on.
Who everyone rated when he came back. He ended Danny Rick's career.
Yeah, barely though. He never.
It doesn't matter. I'm just telling you what this guy's done.
Yep.
Right? These are the facts.
Do you rate Danny Rick though?
Let him talk. Let him finish. I'm
So,
interested.
for all the shit this kid's copping, this Japanese guy's copping, I've been saying all along, he's fucking fast, okay? And, yeah, he's had a temperament, and we've heard all the dummy spits on the radio. But, yeah, he did okay against Gasly. They were pretty equal 1 year there. They drove 2 years together. And Gasly's very fast. So, I just think he should have got the nod. But again, they're all about temperament. They can't. They probably want to take the chance of knowing that he's still that bit of a loose cannon the way he carries on in the car.
So Japanese like as well.
Yeah, well, and I think that's to his advantage, James, because he's got a bit of gusto. Because you're right, the Japanese are so pretty much bowed
Timid.
down.
Yeah.
That's generally what we've seen from all of them in all the racing, haven't we? So that's what makes him a bit left of centre. Why he's pretty decent, I think, but he's better than Lawson. It was faster than Lawson in the shootout, but they wanted to go for someone more solid, who they think Lawson is. Lawson was 4th in line in the Red Bull stable. There was a guy named Yuki Vips. He was the one that was coming through, and he was dominating F2. And then
surely his name's not Yuki as well.
No, Yuri Vips is his name.
2 Yukis, that'd be incredible.
Yuri Vips was his name.
Yeah.
And then he, I don't know, was playing some. What do they call them? Simulator thing online with his mates and made this racial slur, and it went viral, and he got the arse.
Jesus.
Okay?
Just because of that. They'll hate to see group chat.
He got the arse. Right? And this is how. And trust me, he was wiping Lawson at the time. Okay? So I'm just talking about where these guys that are coming through this so-called Red Bull program, they're not top, Lawson's. It makes me laugh. The amount of recycling that's gone on in Formula One these last 4 years, these mini comebacks, like Danny Rick getting another go, De Vries, he got spat out very early on, never really made it. He got another go. Now Lawson's getting a go. Like they weren't right. They never got the right to get there in the first place. But because of this shortage of talent, because these junior categories, it's too even. It's too. with these reverse grid races in F3 and F2, as you see, like it's so hard to get a consistent. There are some decent guys. Who's the Brazilian guy? Not Beerman. He's taking. He's in the Borletto. So he was F3 champion, and did really well in F2. I think you actually.
He won the championship.
He did win it, but he came straight out of F3 as well. So he's like another Piastri in a sense. He managed to do the back-to-back title.
But Hadjar going into that Toro Rosso, Racing Point, whatever you call him now, that's going to be a big test, and I think he will outperform Yuki.
Well, he has to. I don't think he will, but I'm back to Yuki.
But Hadjar is the talent. Hadjar is a talent, and I'm really excited for him as well. And no one's talking about him going into this year because we've got so many other things to talk about. We've got Hamilton and a Ferrari. We've got, as we keep saying, we've got two multiple championships, both going to the red manufacturer with Marquez going to Ducati. It's a crazy time.
What a crazy coincidence.
Crazy time to be alive and us doing a motorsport podcast.
It's crazy.
Liberty Media buying MotoGP. I mean, how many home runs do you want? Seriously.
Going back to F3 and F2, I've never kept up with it and I've never watched it.
That's not very good.
Have you always watched it?
Yeah, bloody oath. Yeah, it's and that's why you saw Piastri coming through in F3.
Is it exciting racing?
Great racing.
Mate, the F3 the F3 is like Moto 3.
Yeah.
Okay. You have these, they slipstream, re-slipstream because of the DRSs.
Reverse grid? What's if this reverse
well,
grid?
What they do in those two series, right? Because they have a sprint race on a Saturday, so they've always had a sprint race.
And it's every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend they have a sprint race and a feature, right? And so they have the qualifying on the Friday, and on the Saturday they have the sprint race, and they reverse the top 10.
Okay.
So this is the funny thing about qualifying. You watch them qualifying, and you watch when these guys from 10 below. If one of those can just get 10th, they start pole the following day.
Is that good for the fastest person though? Like, is that not rewarding the fastest driver?
But you get to see talent that wouldn't usually be up the front as well, and then you get to see the number one guy coming through the pack and seeing how good he is on passing.
So the guy who gets pole position for the main race, he starts 10th. And generally, they'll come up 5 spots. And if they're really good, they'll win races from 10th.
And that's when you can split the real talent from the average
And do you think that's needed?
Oh, I think so, yeah. It adds another dynamic to the racing, yeah.
But
100%.
do you think it's needed to bring talent through, to showcase talent? Because just from an outside point of view, I find it strange because it's not rewarding the fastest driver, and if I'm trying to make comparisons to Moto 2, Moto 3, it would be very strange to see a David Alonso who qualifies so well or whatever, then start 10th and then have to risk it to get through the field.
But they still start on pole for the sprint race, yeah.
For the main race.
So for the main race.
That's the big point.
Oh, it's only a sprint race. Sorry, I thought it was a main race.
No. The feature race is like the normal positions.
Gotcha.
The sprint race is when they do the
And they award half the points.
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was a
points.
main race. That's why I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
No. It's just to mix up the format, keep it interesting. Because generally, another reason they did is because generally over the last, because you've always had 3 really quality high teams, that are always at the front, and that's why Prema Racing. Prema Racing. They've got F3 teams and they've got F2 teams. And
they had a junk car.
Piastri won his titles with Prema, a few others. And that car has sometimes made those drivers look better. They even Mick Schumacher won the F2 championship. But it was in that car. That's why people were like, I'm not sure about, is he really that good? Because he won in a Prema that was they were dominant that year.
So in F2 and F3, the cars aren't fully equal, like just say a Moto 3 bike.
No, generally the F2 and F3 cars.
F3 is probably more controlled. More controlled.
Yeah.
That's what you'd want in those junior series.
F2, they still have a say of the chassis and all that kind of thing. Like Prema last year had Beerman and Antonelli.
That's right.
And they were probably the 2 top talents.
Yeah.
And the car was shit.
Yeah,
and that's what just on that. That's what swung up for Toto Wolff when Sainz got the flu in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, so he couldn't race the weekend. Beeman had just taken pole position in F2. Okay, so because he's a Ferrari reserve driver, they put him in the car on Saturday, and he qualified 9th and finished 5th, I think.
Yes, 5th or 6th.
First time out and stuff, and. Because he's teammates with Antonelli had beaten him for the first half of the year. That's what made Toto go, it's a no-brainer, I'm putting this kid in the Merc. Because if that's his teammate and he's beating his teammate in F2, that reassures me this guy can do it.
And it's a huge following in Europe, F2 and F3.
Well,
yeah,
you've got to remember as well, and we've spoken.
The budgets are crazy.
We've spoken about
it's
this
$1.5
as well.
million
But
to
from
get.
fans, like it's a
Yeah.
huge
I mean,
following.
what you're trying to get at is everyone who watches MotoGP usually watches Moto2 and Moto3.
Yeah.
Because the difference is it's a 40-minute race.
Yeah, that's right. It's a shorter.
in
It's a shorter watch.
If you're sitting down on a Saturday afternoon, you're watching an F1 race. It's 2 hours. If you're going to watch all three, it's fucking 5.5. People don't have the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, in Europe it's a lot more popular, but in here it's not as popular.
Having said that, it's really weird. The last 2 years, they've brought F2 and F3 to Australia.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah,
and,
that's a big
and
thing.
I thought it was a one-off, but they did it, and they're coming back this year again.
And it's been good. It's been good
Yeah,
to see.
because of the new track at Melbourne, because of the 4 DRS zones. This is what makes it. Because back to the more so the F3s and the F2s, it's just like a mosquito fleet, like the Moto 3.
But remember those F2s coming out of turn 2, their downshift. Also, their upshift is so aggressive.
Yeah.
You felt that. It's just those
And
cars.
again,
It
they're-
sounded better than the
Of course,
actual F1
because
cars.
they're smaller V8 engines,
Yeah.
or V6
V6
engines.
engines, yeah.
But yeah, the talent does come through like all categories. But there's usually 2 or 3 teams that are always at the front or close to the front. But the downside is because of these reverse grids, and qualifying can be so unpredictable sometimes, that the guy who's leading the championship, like Hadjar, he won the. No, he didn't win the title. He was favourite. This guy's in the Red Bull this year next to Sonoda. He was heavy favourite all year. But then the back half of the year, had a shocking back half of the season.
He stalled on the last race as well, and he lost.
Yeah,
the
that was the other
championship
thing,
in
yeah.
Abu Dhabi, yeah.
It's a bit of an argument thing
Next
to do.
thing, boys, and my question would be: are we going to have a new Formula One world champion next year? Norris, Piastri, Russell.
That's a good question.
I'm still saying Max.
Yeah, really.
Just for the simple reason that the 3 other teams, Ferrari's probably the best poised because of Leclerc.
Well, I think constructors-wise, I think Ferrari has the best chance.
Well,
If you said you champion, you asked about the driver.
drivers championship.
No, I mean drivers, but I'm just saying in constructors, I think Ferrari has the best
in
chance.
the second half of last year, it's a ridiculous question to ask, but do you know roughly who got the most points?
The
Because
McLaren.
tops,
McLaren.
but driver, was it Norris?
It was Norris and Piastri. They
the
shared
top
it
6.
over the last half of the season. Sorry, Tom.
No, that's
Okay.
right. The top 6. If you look at the last 6 races of the year, the top 6 drivers are all within 25 points. It was the closest it's ever been in the last 6 races ever.
And Norris and Piastri were the top 2.
Just, I mean, it was a matter of handful
From
of points.
Spa onwards, it was McLaren taking majority of the podiums, and they fluffed about 4 wins.
Yeah.
Cost
They did.
Tom a lot of money.
It did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, how they didn't get that 5th win is just ridiculous.
But
But anyway.
yeah, so McLaren should have won more, and that's because they were sharing the poles and the front rows. So therefore, those 2 guys, because they finished most in the they got like 70 points each in the last 7 races.
If we're talking drivers championships, I don't want to say it, but I think it's going to be Lando. I think there was going to be a new world champion.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd love that to happen. I'd love to see
I would
that.
hate it.
Okay, I'll get that, but I'm just looking at it from a point of view.
It'd be
it's
good for the championship.
It's still Max because it's a 1-car team. It's all pointing to him to win.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and that pit will outsmart those other 3 teams.
Well,
put together.
that's their kryptonite right now of McLaren. They're fluffing too many.
Well, that's the thing.
Strategies.
Because not just that. I've said this before in here. Red Bull back Max to the hilt, right? They just give him the best strategy. Even if they says, "Oh, you're going to be 2 laps short," we don't care. We'll still go with that because he'll make that up. That's the difference between the Red Bull pit wall. Is the other 3 kept looking at this data sheet, going, "Oh no, it's not going to work. We won't try it." And that's what stuffs up. Hamilton's just as good in that situation of overcoming the deficit.
Hamilton's done, I think.
Yeah,
he's
I
done.
agree.
He's just not there. He hasn't got that
The
split
guy's
second.
40.
Yeah.
He's just turned 40.
I think Piastri is going to have a real big chance.
Yeah,
real
it
big
It
chance.
is. They've and this is why I come back to Piastri is really good. Like
Yeah.
he's already ruffled Lando's feathers. Lando didn't see this coming.
No.
What happened last year a couple of times there, and that's why he
Can't
moved
be
out the
like
way.
that though. You can't react like that, Lando.
Yeah, but he didn't expect it. Like
it
he
doesn't
should-
matter. Though.
No,
you gotta
I'm-
be cool, calm, collected.
No, you're right. But in his head, he thought he was going to be the number 1 in that team. And he's not. Like they're giving him equal status. This is back to my point about Max. Like, and if Leclerc starts wiping Hamilton, now what I mean wipe, if the car's half decent, I can see Leclerc getting front rows, and then if they're all even again, like last year, this is the 4 cars, then Lewis will be more towards the back of that top 8 than at the front. So he's overcoming the best analogy. I had a chat with Jerry about this. Is that in 2008, the Ferrari just wasn't quite to Kimi's liking. It just won the championship, and Massa was getting front rows, and Kimi was qualifying 5th and 6th for most of the year, and getting involved in other people's first corner accidents. That's why he didn't defend his championship, because he just couldn't master that car, And this is what I'm trying to relate to Lewis. Lewis ain't out qualifying Leclerc. It's just not happening.
No.
He's 40.
But then again, you look at Leclerc. I don't think
he's next to Max as one of the. He's probably the
talent,
fastest.
100% talent, but up here,
Agreed.
just that
Agreed.
world championship mentality.
But having Lewis there's the rocket to go. Well, I've got to be on it now. This guy.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I think with
that's a
Sainz,
good call.
my belief with Sainz was that he knew he had his measure, so he relaxed too much and started making those mistakes.
We'll see.
Time
will tell.
So who were you tipping, Tom, for the championship then?
Piastri. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say Max. You're saying Lando.
Yeah.
So more McLaren. McLaren in other form, but
Who knows with F1 though? Seriously.
yeah, but who would have thought it? The first 7
That's what I
races. No, you guys were hardly talking about F1
Yeah.
because Max
It was
won
a
like
snooze
7 of the
fest.
first 8 races.
Yeah, I know.
And then out of nowhere, you're turning up here on Monday. I'm watching. I'm like, oh, we've got a different F1 winner again. And
Yeah, I know.
It was
surprised
exciting.
everybody, but it just surprised the hell out of everybody.
If you
didn't
look
it?
at our exuberance from talking about F1 from the 3rd round to the 20th round, chalk and cheese.
It was so interesting to watch
Yeah.
because you just didn't know who was going to win. That's the whole
Well, that's
point of
all- that's
motorsport.
That is motorsport.
It was an incredible year. And it's going to be an incredible year. It has to be. It has all the recipe
It
to
does.
be a great dish.
It does.
So,
I've been working hard, Danby. I've been working hard.
I can see.
I've been getting the Thailand body ready.
Thailand body.
Yeah.
oh, me too. I'm conditioning myself. Extra
Sure you
alcohol.
are. Yeah, no worries, Tom.
Can anyone message us listening as well? We are going to be in Thailand, so we're going to
Bring
We
them all
need-
along.
We need
Bring
to
them
make
all.
a big announcement. Have you made the big announcement yet, Tom?
No, what's the big
Well,
announcement?
the big announcement is, it's hot off the press, that you're going
Turn
to
your fan
Buriram,
off, Tom.
Oh, sorry.
and, the fanfare begins when you come back to Tullamarine the day before the Australian Grand Prix.
I know.
Tom has been spreading the word. Tom, can you just
Wait, what are you
shout
saying?
it out?
What are you saying?
Tom, come on, mate.
I don't know what I'm saying.
They go to Thailand and they get back.
We land back on the Wednesday.
No, down the camera.
On the Wednesday? No, well,
Go
I got to put
Sorry.
so you look at me. The Wednesday, we get home at midday on the Wednesday.
Right.
Sleep, recover,
Wake
wake
up.
up Thursday morning, straight
Wow.
to the F1s.
Oh, it's crazy.
Tommy High Flyer.
Yeah.
Just like that.
I'm gonna have my tan on.
Wow.
It's gonna be.
On my
excellent.
predictions, you're going to lose weight from a sweat, though. I know you're going to
1,000%.
drink a lot of alcohol,
1,000%.
but you're going to lose weight, man.
Oh yeah,
1,000%.
100%.
It's
yeah.
basically a work/health retreat for you.
That's what I tell the missus.
Hilarious.
That's what I
That is
hilarious.
hilarious.
You're missing one key important
Go on,
detail.
go on,
His
go on, go
glasses
on.
are going to be constantly fogged
Oh,
up.
you're
and
gonna
they
be-
stay permanent like
No,
that.
Curtis, I actually bought
Anti-fog
these cool,
spray?
No. Go on. I bought these cool gold glasses, no rim, just for Thailand. They look fucking awesome, and they don't
these
fog
re-
up.
Are these reading glasses?
No, they're fucking distance, but I'm gonna walk around like I'm fucking smoking darts with the big fucking chain around my thing.
And we're going to do a couple of pods over there. It's going to be gold.
That'd be
pissed.
fun.
Yeah, pissed.
That'd be fun.
Well, you can come on one, Danby, but you just got to look at us this time.
If you
Yeah.
fucking fix this microphone, I'll fucking look wherever the fuck you want me to look.
No swearing, I said. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, hot takes. Curtis is fucking heating up. Come on.
Getty. All right. Hot takes first for 2025, fellas.
Oh.
Get around
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's
Keep
do
them
it.
coming in.
At Big Griffin, Vinales will be the only KTM to win this year.
Harsh. Well, you guys think Acosta's
The
going to be
only
up top?
KTM.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
Nah.
That's a crazy statement, isn't it?
That's,
See, it's the fraud's already starting.
That's,
What is interesting about that take? Stay with me. If the bike is shit, somehow, somewhere, Vinales will have an amazing weekend.
He'll win a race. He'll win a race. Yeah, he will win a
That's what
race.
he's counting
Yeah,
on.
it's
The
Really,
whole point
only
is
one.
Vinales.
He's counting on like a Spargo at a Barcelona, just having a one-off weekend. You know?
But remember, he's not starting on Fraud Watch.
No, he's not. His
It
slate
will-
is clean.
It will be very funny if that race, if he wins at Austin again.
It would be the greatest
Given what
thing
happened
ever.
12 months ago, when a lot of people got sucked in.
Oh, don't even. I've spoken about it too many times. Don't even
Including
get me
me.
started.
I didn't-
You all did.
I had to win in the next race. I did. I jumped on him.
Did you get sucked in as well,
I
Dan?
think I
to be
did. I
honest?
think I did.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just he's just got to
Yeah.
knack
Here we
to
go.
pull you in.
Someone's going to challenge
He tickles the
Bagnaia.
balls. He does.
I've actually never seen anything like it, and I think about this more often than not.
Yeah. Curtis is laughing.
It's messed up, and it's world renowned. This Curdy, it's world renowned.
Maverick Vinales lives rent free in your fucking head.
I think
agree.
we live rent free in his head. He fucking
give me
blocked us.
Yeah, the block thing.
We're rent free in his head.
We are blocked. We're still blocked.
Okay.
He has a shit he needs a new marketing team. I guess I'm blocked, mate. Come on, seriously.
Yeah, you just gotta. We actually love him. We're actually his biggest fans. It's a crazy
That's what he
thing.
doesn't get. Yeah.
At Nikolai Alexander, just found your page. Your content is fire. Thank you,
Beautiful.
Nikolai
Good
Alexander.
shout out.
Keep going.
Good man from America, from Ohio,
He corrected me. What's his name?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Jason?
No. Sorry, I've forgotten. Far out. De Silva. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Drayson Silva.
That's what I said.
Sorry, Drayson's from South Carolina, not from Ohio.
That all sound the same.
Yeah, true. 3 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Jump, our boy.
Inauguration. Get around him.
Go.
Politics podcast now. The_learner_7. Mark Marquez to equal Rossi's 9 world titles. Good shout.
Good shout.
Good shout.
Well, how many more has got to go? One. Yeah, good shout.
At Moto Heaven fan favorite / founder, I guess you could say, Adrian Letty.
Oh, yeah.
Aussies punch well above their weights in moto.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
we do world sport for the population we have.
Yeah, 20-something
Incredible.
million.
Yeah.
Aussies, Daniel Chucky Sanders just won a Dakar.
Amazing. We haven't even talked about that.
Nah. And an incredible effort. So congratulations to him. We've put up a few things on our Instagram.
From the team at Motorsport Republica, congratulations.
Yep.
An amazing effort.
On a Red Bull KTM. You know, Toby Price has won that as well. Then you've got Hunter and Jet Lawrence, who obviously dominate motocross. Australia win motocross Des Nations. You've got then all our world champions in MotoGP. Doohan, Stoner,
It's funny about
Troy Bayliss and World Superbikes.
It's funny about
Troy
the Dakar.
Corsa.
The Dakar got more coverage than what Jet and Hunter ever got.
I know,
It's
wild.
crazy. It's interesting. I
It
think
is
it's because,
interesting.
I don't know, it's just people can relate more to it. I'm not sure.
It's such a famous race. Obviously, it's not as the same as what it was back in the day. But it's the Aussies punch well above their weight. When you go up against the Americans, the Might of America of 360 million,
crazy.
you know, and then the Europeans of their breeding ground of talent. It is.
Well a bunch pumping their weight.
Yeah.
Punching well above their weight.
Yeah.
And we're
so it's-
showing them.
And then Oscar Piastri with racing,
Oh, yeah.
4 wheels, I should say.
We've
So
had an amazing history in Formula One with going back to Alan Jones and
Yeah,
Mark
it is weird in the sense that every couple of generations we seem to
Yeah.
get another F1 driver coming along.
it is amazing.
You know, because after Webber's like, oh, what happens after Webber? Then
I know.
Danny Rick come along.
Yeah.
You know,
And then so marketable. It was a face of F1
Yeah.
for a bit.
yeah,
It is incredible.
yeah, definite.
So it's good to see. And that's a bit of Aussie patriotism for Australia Day coming up as well.
Yeah.
100%.
Good
Happy
call.
Australia Day, everyone.
Yeah.
Good call, James.
Get around it, seriously. At @heart_Melbond. Max is Max, but it's the first time since maybe 2010 where there's no clear favourite for the title.
Great
Yeah,
call.
great call.
Great call.
Yeah.
We just mentioned that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just talked about it a little bit, but it's good
There'll
to be
be
noticed.
there'll be 6 drivers in single figures for the championship on Sportsbet, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What's the likelihood, there's a prediction, that the championship goes down to the last round?
Oh, yeah.
Gee whiz,
It's
oh,
every
God.
chance, but every chance. Remember they had double points
No, that was
a few
silly. I
years
was at
back?
that race.
And
That
then,
was stupid.
Rosberg and
Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah.
Almost happened too.
Yeah, it did. That was silly.
What's the chances? You give us a percentage.
70% chance it will go
For
down
the
to the
last
last
race?
race.
Wow, that's a big.
Yeah, I
that's
reckon
big.
it's a fair call. I reckon it's a fair
We
shout.
might be there. Yaz Marina. What do you reckon? Get some cheap tickets for us, Danby? Slither our way
Next,
in
Is that enough? At our boy, It's Cold Papa, James is going to win both F1 and MotoGP prediction championships again this year.
there.
Double champ.
What's good is we're going to probably send our predictions straight to him. So he wants to control the whole thing this year, Papa. So James has no tweaking of the results.
I'm like 2016 to 2023 meta fact checkers. I actually control
Oh.
everything. It's not community guidelines like it is now. It's I'm actually controlling.
meta fact checker. I like that.
yeah.
And last one, fan favourite Braden _Hardcastle, Igura to finish top 10 in the championship and finish Raul's career.
Oh, yeah, true. I don't know.
The second
about top
part.
10.
I think the second part.
Yeah, the ladder.
Well,
Yeah.
he's got a 2-year deal. He's still got this year and next year.
They
Raul.
rate Raul
Has he really?
for some reason. They rate him highly from all reports. So
I know it's
it's
wild.
crazy. But
They do. No, they do.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
They
There
do.
must be something in the data. Fuck me, there has to be something
Yeah.
in the data. It's the only explanation I've got.
Now we've got to wrap this up because Curtis had a noise complaint from his neighbour driving his V4 home last week. So we got to wrap it up so he can get home. So thanks, guys.
I didn't know the Uber was so loud on the way home though tonight.
Mate, they got some custom exhausts on there. Just an FYI, Ducati Lenovo
they
is
announce
currently
it?
live on MotoGP on Instagram right now to show off their new bikes.
Beautiful. We might watch that now.
Yeah.
All good.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Danby.
All
Thanks,
good,
guys.
guys.
Yep.
All
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Bring
Good
on
to see you
Thailand.
again. Yep.